What up, YouTube world? It's Coffee back, and we got an interesting one today, an interesting blog. We're talking about propaganda. Beware the propaganda and the propaganda machine. You feel me? Now, check it out. This account that I've been following for the longest time on Instagram. You see it. Dude's name is Prophecy. What he spells it Prafecy. He makes music, I believe. I know he makes music, but I believe he does much more than that, as he's out to expose a lot of things, you feel me? And I caught this post that he put up earlier, and everyone go check out this guy's page, follow him, check out his music, all that stuff. He's got a lot of, like, if you think this is an interesting convo, he's got a lot of really, like, go down the rabbit hole and peep what the man's got over there, you feel me? But he shared this post, and it is a tweet from Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant has been speaking out about some different issues and different topics in press conferences and just in general that typically don't get brought up in NBA press conferences. Now, some people might say, well, I watch sports for sports, so I'm glad that stuff isn't typically brought up. And I feel you, like, over here on J Coffee Talk, as always, our whole motto kind of is we can agree to disagree. Let's talk. Let's break it all down. Let's discuss everything. So hit the comments, if that's the way you feel. I indeed, am interested to hear that as well. But KD's just been talking about some things, you know what I mean? And in this tweet, he says, mans will do anything to advance their careers in this media-ish, wanting to be accepted by an industry that will dispose of you whenever they please, right? So he's talking about in this media world, people will do anything to push on and level up and advance their career. And when the time comes, they will be disposed of with the quickness. It's a wicked machine out there. You know what I mean? Now, Prophecy shared this and also shared some other stuff pertaining to it, and he said he shared a thing about Operation Mockingbird, okay? Now, it gets deep, comment, guys, and let me know if you're up on Operation Mockingbird, which basically all ties into the CIA, the media, intersecting and overlapping, and how they distribute propaganda, and not just in the United States, across the world, internationally, to really condition people's minds for certain events that may happen, or whatever the case may be. Because let's be honest, even if you're not the kind of person that believes in conspiracies and things like that, I'm sure that you can still say that at times it feels like, and I'm not just talking about one thing in general, you know what I mean? One specific topic or whatever it may be. I'm talking about over the years, for the longest time, certain things get pushed through the media. Like I said, even if you're not a conspiracy tinfoil hat wearing ass individual, I'm sure you've seen some things like, man, I feel like for some reason, whoever's out there pulling the strings wants me to feel this way, or they want the people to fear this, or they want the people to, think this or that. You know what I'm saying? And Operation Mockingbird is a large scale alleged operation. We got to put it out there as alleged, just to keep everything on course. That, dates all the way back to the beginning of the Cold War, and it's the media, but not all members of the media, but certain members end up linked up with the CIA and become a part of the propaganda machine, according to reports about Operation Mockingbird. And reportedly, they would seek leading journalists to start front groups and all different kinds of stuff like that. So comment, what do you guys think? Have you seen a journalist? That's why what's good about the internet age is obviously whatever strings are being pulled, or propaganda or messages is supposed to be dispersed out to the people. Not everyone is always in on it. You know what I mean? Not even everyone within the government is always in on everything. You know, there's been points in time where secret surveillance on certain governmental officials was going on and they didn't know it, you know, and it's just kind of wild. It reminds me, if you guys like watched Prison Break, what was that group in that was like an Illuminati type group, The Company. Not everyone that was in politics or in the government was involved in that, but some were, some weren't. Some kind of mingled in between and dealt with both sides of the fence, but kind of kept their own independence from things. But back to what I was saying, in this internet era, you know, there's a lot of journalists out there. There's a lot of news sources out there that you can tap in with and follow and rock with who you feel, you know, like, I think this person's compromised. I feel like they're pumping out some bullshit, or I used to rock with this person, but they ended up getting this big deal. And ever since they've been affiliated with this company, I don't know, they're on some other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, comment and let me know if you guys can relate to what I'm saying there. And just personally, I feel like that's the way a lot of this stuff goes, is a lot of big companies lay out certain rules and certain guidelines and put the pressure on certain people that work for them to kind of, maybe if they're not flat out, you know, controlling what that person reports or says or puts out there, they kind of let them do their own thing. But then at the same time, they say, hey, you got to kind of work this into, you know, what you're saying, put this into the equation and put that out there. Now, what's kind of wild, right, is there was a group around from 1947 to 1978 that was called the National Student Association. And it was just basically university governments from a bunch of different colleges that would kind of get together. The way it's, you know, worded is confederated university governments. And it disbanded in 1978. But between 1950 to 1967, it was exposed by some hardcore independent journalists out there that they were being funded by the CIA for a 17-year period, and was said to be, you know, some clandestine things going on, some secret stuff. And it's interesting when you think about that, because this is a bunch of colleges. So them being linked to the CIA and to Operation Mockingbird really shows that the propaganda machine, you know, back during this time period between 50 and 67 was trying really hard to influence students. But in 1967, like I said, they broke away from the CIA and tried to establish their own thing. And in 1969, they were having a big annual meeting in El Paso, Texas. And, you know, from the way it sounds, a bunch of hippies just kind of showed up, partying, playing kind of crashed the meeting, you know, drugs, playing music, and just crashed the party. And, you know, this is after the National Student Association was said to have broke away from Operation Mockingbird and from the NSA. But I guess the hippies still showed up to let them know, you know, we're not rocking with all this propaganda. We're free thinkers, I guess. You know, it seems like, you know, the hippie movement. And when I say that, I know I'm just kind of generalizing, because there was a lot of people out there doing their own thing, a lot of groups and movements and things of that nature, was really trying to combat media propaganda back in the day. And it's wild, too, because, like I said, this stuff goes internationally, you know, into Russia, into all different other countries out there. And it just kind of makes me think of the Bilderberg group, you know, how that was also exposed by hardcore journalists, you know, that learned that every so many years, these elite individuals, you know, people tied to the elite from all different countries meet somewhere. Like, what are they discussing? Are they planning the events that are going to go down? And then, like, what? Do they debrief the CIA, who then carries out Operation Mockingbird and taps in with the journalists and says, hey, okay, this is the agenda for this year. This is what we need you to really get out there. In 1974, there were some documents and things that leaked out that suggested that there were 50 top media leading journalists who, were directly linked with the CIA. So once again, guys, not everyone is always in on everything. Not everyone is always aware of certain things, or if they're being watched. It's a crazy situation. So often when we look at things going on and we say something ain't right about this, I think the way a lot of people envision things is, that there's just these, when you level up and someone gets to this next level or that next level of the government or the media or whatever, you automatically just get the playbook and know everything that's going on. But I don't really believe it to be that way. I believe there's a group of individuals out there that just have knowledge that, others may not even have, so some people may be putting out certain propaganda and they think they know what's going on because they're getting told what kind of propaganda to put out there, but they may be getting some propaganda ran on them about why they're doing what they're doing, So it's just really tricky, confusing stuff, as with any situation, not even on a large scale like this where we're talking about the government, just with everyday Joes, say there's something going on. I don't know, you're fighting for a promotion at work and, some people are saying, hey, don't let these other individuals know this because, I think I can impress the bosses and get the promotion by doing this. And if they know that I'm at this, they might try to one up me or give them some misinformation so they think this is my plan. But that's really the plan, just kind of like a chess game or anything that's going on. It's all just very, very confusing and overwhelming when you really try to think of it all on that larger scale, talking about internationally and things like that. So in this modern day internet era, where information spreads so quickly and propaganda is so easy to push. You feel me? It's so easy to push. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this gentleman prophecy is correct and this is indeed what Durant was speaking about when it comes to this media world? Or do you think this is a reach? I'm curious to know what you guys think. I just kind of was coming off the cuff and freestyling a little bit on this one. It was just kind of a lot of information to go on. But I saw this post earlier and it just kind of sparked all this. And I was thinking, wow, this is interesting stuff. So once again, this guy's name is Prophecy. Go check him out on Instagram. Give him a follow. I thank y'all for tuning in. Let's discuss all this in the comments below. Man, the CIA, the NSA. It's kind of funny, too. You have the NSA. Like we saw everything that was going on with Snowden when he leaked that all out. There was a lot of information there that a lot of people weren't privy to. A lot of people in the government and people who got some juice were not aware of. Believe that, you know what I mean? And there's satellites and stuff all over the place out there. So keep that in mind as well. But you got the NSA, the CIA, and then that National Student Association that I was talking about, that the CIA kind of had under their control for 17 years. Their initials are also NSA. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. I was just kind of pointing that out. It's kind of coincidental, but they ended up breaking away, like I said, and they merged with another group related to universities, and they're now known as the USSA, United States Student Association. But we see a lot of the stuff that has come out and been declassified or exposed by journalists regarding the CIA. Like I always refer to the Freeway Ricky, Contras and the cocaine and all that stuff. And you never really know what's what out there. That's why it's always interesting to chop it up with everyone and see everyone's take on stuff and see if we can't possibly uncover some things ourselves. I'm not saying we're going to crack some major thing or expose some CIA operation or nothing like that, but I'm saying, when everyone kind of gets on the same wavelength and is chopping it up and sharing, knowledge with each other and information with each other, sometimes you can spot some whole other ish going down. You know what I mean? So you never know what's what, who's who, propaganda running, all over the place, running amok. Let's talk about it all. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, go check out this guy, Prophecy, on Instagram. Let's talk in that comment thread. It's J Coffee Talk. Sub to my channel. Daily content, music, news, sports, and more. I'm out of here, guys. Have a great night. Peace.